Just crazy weather we're having. It's 40 degrees and it's snowing. Last night it was in the 30s and it was snowing hard. So a while back I told you I had to put some more silicone around my chimney, that it was leaking, and I thought maybe the silicone I put around it had broken loose, but that's obviously not what it is. What it is there's a collar that goes over the flashing, and there's a gap that goes uphill. And when it's a misty rain, like last night, it was really misty, and a hard breeze, I think that water is getting pushed up underneath there and into the chimney and drains down into the attic box. Hard to explain, but that's what I think is happening. So it's just a design flaw. I really hate the way they design it. So I think I'm going to get some high temperature spray foam. Now I know somebody's going to say, oh, you can't do that, it's too hot. That chimney probably doesn't even get 100 degrees up there. High temperature spray foam can get much hotter than that. I know because I used it down there on my outdoor wood furnace heat exchanger that I built last year, and it didn't have any problems, and that got really hot. It's not actually going to touch the chimney. It's going to just be the collar and the flashing. So we're going to use that and see if I can get it to stop raining in the house into the attic box. That's the only thing I can imagine what it is. There's no way that new silicone I put on there is leaking. Thought I'd come down here and talk about chickens for a minute. The chickens have slowed down in production. Now, we know that in the wintertime, chickens slow down or may even stop producing eggs because shorter daytime. You got to have 12 to 14 hours of sunlight for chickens to produce consistently. So when we were getting a lot of sun a few days, I guess about a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, we were getting 10 eggs a day. We've been nothing but cloudy for days now. It's hard to even get a battery charge. I've been running the generator about 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. It's still not that bad. I mean, the solar panels are still producing some electric, but not a massive amount. So with the chickens, we've slowed down quite a bit. We are down to 6 to 8 eggs a day now. And it's about every other day. We'll get 8 eggs one day, 6 eggs the next day. And they're going to bed earlier. When it was sunny, they'd go to bed 7:30, 8 o'clock. Right around there, 7:45. Well, now, last night, they went to bed at 6:30. I think it was 6:30. So, Carolyn and I have been eating about 7 eggs a day for lunch. I'll eat 4, she eats 3. Now, remember, the Americana eggs are pretty small, but we like the Americana eggs. Well, first, they're just kind of neat looking, and if we ever had to sell eggs, those would definitely go for more. Now, we were talking that we're going to have to go get some chicken feed here pretty soon. We're about out. Well, actually, we probably have another 2 months worth of chicken feed left, but I don't like getting low, let's put it that way. It looks like chicken feed has went up about 15%. So that's about $2.25 more than what we were paying. Now, on the surface, that sounds terrible, which it is. I mean, who wants to pay $2.25 more? But the amount of food we are not eating because of the chicken eggs far exceed that price. Think about this. When I was eating peanut butter lunches, peanut butter sandwiches for lunch, we'd probably go through 2 or 3 loaves of bread a week. So let's just say, I don't know what bread is, well, let's just call it $3, $2.50, $3 a loaf. Let's just round it up to $3 to make it easy. That's $9 a week. Well, you figure a bag of food is going to last the chickens a month, 2 weeks. So we're talking $2 extra every 2 weeks. That's not bad. And considering I feel more full eating the eggs than I did with the peanut butter, and the eggs are just a ton more healthy. I've been talking about my carnivorous diet for some time now, and I feel a ton healthier. My breathing's better. I forgot I had a shoulder injury over the summer swinging the maul for the splitting the wood. It was pretty bad. It was hard to sleep on my left side. Well, since I started the carnivorous diet, I've noticed my shoulder has gotten better. My knee pains are better. Everything's better. Carolyn's back, I've noticed, doesn't hurt as much. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not telling you that this is what you should do to heal yourself, but I've been watching this doctor on YouTube, and I don't trust doctors, so he really had to impress me in order for me to listen to him. But he did. He impressed me. He said a lot of things that made more sense than just off-the-shelf doctors where they talk about all the standard stuff. Oh, you got to eat vegetables, you got to do this, you got to do that. And they don't explain how that makes sense. For example, I've talked about this before where when you say corn-fed, yeah, my grandpa, he would feed his pig for a month nothing but corn. Why are you doing that? To fatten them up. It's corn-fed. You're fattening your pigs up to eat corn. And so we talk about vegetarian diets, but it's all carbohydrates, it's all sugar. Meat, on the other hand, they criticize and criticize and criticize, and every vitamin that you need, you have to have several different vegetables to supplement, is in meat, especially red meat, except vitamin C. Now, that being said, red meat does have vitamin C in it. Well, all meat has vitamin C. It's just water soluble, and you cook it out if you overcook your food. So that's the only downfall of meat, is you don't get vitamin C. But this doctor was telling me, even at that, he doesn't take vitamin C. He has a theory, and it's just a theory. If your body's taking in just meat, your body doesn't need vitamin C. I don't know if that's true, and like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you any advice, I'm just telling you what he said. So I find this all fascinating. So I've been saying the chicken feed prices have gone up. To go buy your chicken feed right now, if you got a place to store it, of course you need to figure out a way to keep mice out of it. If you're going to raise meat birds take a lot of food. I forget what it was, but let's say it was $300 of food that we bought for 25 chickens. Well, if you add 15% to that, now you're talking a significant cost increase, and it may not make meat birds cheaper than the store meat. Although food prices are going up also at the store. But if you buy it now, while it's still a little cheaper than it may be in the next 2 months when you get your meat birds, you'll save a lot of money. And that means that there is a definitive end to the cost. Whereas with mine, I can't store that much food. I don't know if the prices are ever going to come down. They're saying they're just going to keep going up and going up. So if you're going to do meat birds, go ahead and do it. Get your food now. And we thought about doing meat birds this year, but I don't think we're going to do it. We've really analyzed the cost on things, and buying the 10-pound bags of chicken that save a lot, they're frozen, is a lot cheaper. May not be quite as healthy as raising your own, but it's a little bit cheaper doing it that way. Now, if you were to go and buy chicken breast at the store, meat birds are much cheaper. But if you're just canning it like we did, definitely no cost savings when you buy that 10-pound bag. Now, it kind of brings me to another point. This morning I got a message when I was talking about being self-sustaining when it comes to your food. What I was saying is what Carolyn and I will do is we'll take all the scraps from the garden and we'll feed it to the chickens. And that gives them food. So like chicken stalks, we'll grind all that up, dry them out, and give it to the chickens, and that'll be their food. Barley and I forget what else there is that you can raise pretty inexpensively. Easy to raise, easy to grow, I should say. We accidentally spilt some last year, you'll remember. Milo, I think it was called Milo. We spilt some outside the chicken cage, and the chickens loved that stuff. It grew up. It was all by accident. That's how to be self-sustaining when it comes to chicken food. I had a prepper come on this morning and tell me that I was giving bad information, that I need to explain to you what you need to survive a catastrophe. You need 6 months worth of food. So you go out into Lowe's and you get yourself a food grade bucket and you put rice in it. Okay, so in 6 months you're gonna be out of food. I won't. I'll have food year after year all the time. We're raising little chicks from our broody hen. I can eat eggs all the time if I have to. Just get more chickens. Right now, you know, we're eating 7 eggs a day and then our supper. But I don't have to do that. So I think it's bad advice to say store when I already have a better method. I think what we do is a better method than what preppers do. Preppers will come along and say that I'm wrong. You gotta store. But if you can continuously reproduce, you're not storing anything. And we live in a tiny house. Now, another thing I learned today, and this is kind of the whole point of the video, is somehow our society has gotten where we are catering to the minority. We talk about how raising meat is just harmful to the planet. It's harmful to the animals. Well, I learned a couple things. One thing is, people say that cows pollute the atmosphere. But something I learned is growing vegetables is actually more harmful to animals. More animals are killed growing vegetables than when we kill cows, because you're killing the rabbits that are out in the field. You know, you got to make that field, so that you're killing the rabbits and killing the mice and all the little critters that live there. Well, when you ask people, people actually believe like 30% of America are vegetarians or vegans. Then that's not true. So we think we're catering to 30% of the country, when actually we're only catering to 5%. Only 5% of the country are vegetarians or vegans. The rich people, the Bill Gates of the world, they talk about how, you know, we all have to be vegans and we all have to eat bugs. You know, he's going to start this bug farm and all this stuff. But I can guarantee you that he'll go out to a nice restaurant and have a big old steak, you know, $100,000 plate of food. They preach, but they don't practice. The little peasants in the world don't matter. And so they want you to eat vegetables and they want you to eat processed foods because it's cheaper, easier to produce, while they're getting all the good stuff. When I talk about being on a carnivorous diet and how I feel so much healthier, the ones that are screaming the loudest in the comment sections are the vegans. They're the ones that make the most noise. And so it's easy to perceive that they are the ones with the loudest voice. Oh, well, yeah, there are a large group. They say science is clear. We got to eat vegetables. And I don't see the science being that clear. I've actually learned a lot that our bodies require meat. If you'll click on this up next box, this will take you over to my other channel. I'd really appreciate it if you'll go over there. So I hope I can inspire you to take a look at your diet so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.